the latest version of the basket trader. Made a few changes to it. This will be called version 6x, and it is the S9 basket trader TS. Basically, I believe I didn't go, I should have went back and looked at 6, but I believe all this stuff was on there from before. We've been over it. But basically what we have added is these are your signals across the top. Let's see, we open up the indicator list. We got breakout lines, which is this one, and you can see we're not using it. We got it set to false, so it's grayed out, but it still shows up here, so you know which ones are available if you turn them on. Breakout is set to false, so that's why it's grayed out. If you set this to true, this will turn white, like this one here with a gray background. And then what it does, when it breaks out, it will either turn red or green depending on which way you break. Same with any of these, they go red or green, or if there's no signal at the present time, they are gray with white lettering. And you can see TDI is turned off, which is this one, he's turned off. Has 2, which is the next one, is turned off, he's grayed out. And has, just the plain has, is turned on, and you can see it says has, HAS, with a little e. Now the little e means we are using it as an entry. So we're using him set to true, and of course in my case I'm holding the last signal, and these are things here. Now if we were to use it as an exit, then it would put a little X here also. You would have an E and an X like we got over here on the swinger. This is the swinger here. So now we go down to, here's the semaphore, set to true. This is the semaphore, and you notice we are using him as an entry and an exit. Here's the entry, here's the exit. In this case, we're not using the opposite. We're not using the semaphore to add to a trade or anything. So he is set to false, but that doesn't show up here anyway. This just shows you E or X, entry, exit. Now if we move down to the swinger, he is set to true, and we are using the him for an exit also. So here's the swinger used as an entry and an exit. Okay, now this next one is one I have added. This is the RSI. Now you can set him for any time frame you want or any value, and your line settings. The default is 240 with a period of 5, and we're applying it to number 1 in the list, I believe, which is the close. I think it's the close. You'd have to look at the setting. We'll show you in a minute. But that's the one we have added. Everything else here is pretty much, I believe, the same. Well, there's something else we added here too, so we'll get to it in a minute. But as you can see right now, in this case, the only thing that is signaling is the swinger, which is right here. We're getting a signal from the swinger. RSI is not signaling because he's in between the 70 and the 30. Now remember, I got this RSI. This indicator is not needed down here. It is all built into the TS. But if you want to see what this indicator looks like, then you can put it on the chart. And this is basically the settings. You get a time frame. Now I've been using it on the 4 hour 240 because this is a multi-time frame indicator down here. So I've been using it on the 4 hour, and the charts have been on the 1 hour, so I'm confirming a 1 hour TS with a 4 hour RSI, and I'm using a sign of 510. Those are the settings of this, plus those are the settings back in the, should be back here. Here they are 240, 511. So like I said, this is built into here. You don't have to have this down here if you don't want to. But if you want to see what it looks like, you can put that indicator on there. Now you'll find that indicator over in the website where you can download it in the accessory files. It's an indicator. It's called the pound MTF RSI. Here, drag this over. Oops. Get this other window over here. This is what it's called, pound MTF underscore RSI. You'll find it over in the accessory folder where all the other indicators are at the website. So if you want to see what it looks like, put it down there. So like I say, right now this is a 4-hour RSI on a 1-hour chart. And you can see we're not getting any confirmation out of it right now. See if we can find one here that does. Here we got one that's giving us a has. Now one thing I have also added, I don't believe I had these in the other ones, are the gray boxes. These are your windows for your semaphore and your swinger. Semaphore is set at 6. That means this gray box has 6 candles in it. And right now I'm setting the swing at 5, which is the yellow dotted line box, which has 5 candles in it. The reason for that is because the confirmation of a signal from the semaphore and from the swinger are just a little bit different. Let's see what this one here. This one had a swing signal. Now the swing signal takes this candle here to be closed, and then when this one opens, it will give you the trigger up here, the signal. And remember, these have to be within the box. So once this dot moves out of the box, I will say over here, the next candle is no longer any good. Let's see what, okay, here we can find. Now this one's got everything triggered. This is the candle presently on. Of course, the market, I think, is closed now. Yeah, the market closed. So this is telling us that we got a confirmed has entry, and you can see that we got a blue one, we got a red one. These are both closed, and when this one opens, it sees these both closed, and we got a color change to the short side, so we got a confirmed short signal. Swinger. Here's your confirmed swinger signal. It's the little red dot inside the arrow. The arrow is the semaphore, the dot, which you can see down here, is the swinger. And here they're both at the same time. They usually appear at the same time, or the swinger by itself. And there you got a confirmed swinger, because you see this candle closed, this candle closed. When this one opened, he's confirmed, and he's within his box. He's right on this candle on the edge. So he's confirmed. Semaphore. Semaphore only takes the closed candle that he is on. So as soon as this candle opened up, the semaphore signaled a short. And he is within the gray box, so he is good. The swinger is within the yellow dotted box, which makes him good. And they're both at the same time, so that's better yet. RSI, if you look down here, we're overbought on the 4-hour RSI, so that's signaling a short. So what happened here, as soon as this candle opened, we would have gone short on this one. You would have got a short signal up here. So basically that's all I've added to this one is the RSI. You don't have to use it. just for confirmation if you want to try it. And let's see, oh, I think there was something else I wanted to show you here too I've added. And that's the in the take profit. I think I mentioned this once before in a video, and I might add this. I put it in there. It's up to you if you want to use it. It uses the it's called the auto subdem take profit. It uses the supply and demand zones for a take profit, and you can set the percentage of just how much you want to take. Now these things redraw, remember, so whether they're going to be any good to you or not, it's up to you. We haven't done a lot of testing with them. I've used them in the past, but they do repaint. They drive you crazy sometimes. But what that looks at is, well here, right now, you don't see the supply or demand zones. And remember, if you clicked up here, then they would appear. And here's your demand zone here. That's the only one basically the program looks at. Same way with supply is up here. Now that's just a manual look. That doesn't use them. If you want to use them for your take profit, then what you do is you go back here and you turn them on. Turn on your take profit. Remember, we got the ATR one. We don't want to use that. We're going to use the this one set to true for the subdems, and I got it set at 75%. You can set that whatever you want. Now when you do it that way, when you turn them on that way, now you notice they come up by themselves and the button is grayed out. Because if you just turn them on with the button, they're not used. So you got to turn them on in the settings. So now what happens is when the trade opens, say this trade, remember, would have opened at the open of this candle. It looks at the distance to the demand zone, which is 57 pips. I'll have to get my calculator out. 57 pips times 0.75 equals 43 pips. So what it would do, it would set a take profit line right about there. And if it hit it, then it would close the trade. It would automatically set that take profit line there when the trade opened, which would have been here. And it always looks at the distance from where the trade was entered to the top of the supply or demand zone, whichever one you're using. Of course, if you were going up, let's see here once. Ooh, supply's way up there. But say this would not have been a trade here because we're not oversold. But say there would have been a trade back here, then you would have been measuring the distance up to the supply zone. But in this case, we're over here. And like I say, the trouble is with these subdems, this could come down and never get to your take profit because a new demand zone could paint over here someplace before you ever got to it. So it's up to you how you want to set that percentage. You can set it halfway, 75%, you go 100% you want, then you got to go all the way down here. But remember, once it sets these take profit lines, and you come back and look at the trade and you see that it might be starting to reverse on you, never going to get to your take profit, you can either close the trade out or grab a hold of the take profit line and put it where you want to put it. It's up to you how you want to do it. Okay, I think that is all I've added. RSI and the take profit. Everything else, I believe, is still as it was before. Okay, so that about wraps it up on this one here. Let me just shoot through a few more. Here's one here that's showing short. I want to go short. Everything is red. All the four we got presently using, they're all red. Remember, we're not using these, so they don't count. Here's one thing that's green is the Hass. We got a Hass signal, but as you can see, our swing and our semaphore have already moved out of the box. Now we might have been okay when it was in the box. We would have been over here. Value 29.76. This would have just made it below the 30 because it says here it's 29.76 and we got to be below 30, so we possibly could have got a trade out of this going long. Here's another one, just the Hass and the swinger. Hass is going the wrong way. They're not in agreement with each other. Oh, here's another one that's going short. This would have been a short. Now this would have probably occurred a little bit sooner than right now. If we would have turned it on right now, we would have got in. But it probably would have occurred right back here at the open of this candle. That's when our Hass would have confirmed. And you can see our RSI would have been okay. So that about wraps it up, I think. Give her a whirl, see what happens.